Morning. There's some things in life that amaze me. And some things in life makes absolutely no sense at all. I was reading a report about 23 public not high schools necessarily, but 23 schools in Baltimore, Maryland, where there were absolutely not one student that was proficient in math in the 23 schools. This same report, this is what's fascinating. This same report states that Maryland is the number 2 state in the union, educational wise. I mean, at the top, they were number 2. How is it possible that you could have 23 schools with students with 0 proficiency in math and be the number 2 state in the nation education-wise? I've been giving that a lot of thought. And I don't think it's that complicated. I did a little bit more research. The federal government has 2 million employees. And it states that 250,000 of them work in Washington, D.C. The state of Maryland is only 30 miles from Washington, D.C. So that made me dig a little deeper. And just in Google, come to find out that there's like 200,000 federal workers that, work in Washington, D.C. that live in Maryland. That made me wonder even more. Dug a little deeper. Found out that there are over 800 private schools in the state of Maryland. Well, it doesn't take a brain scientist to figure out the rest. The teachers' union pretty much controls the Democratic Party, or the Democratic Party controls the teachers' union. You figure that one out. And the teachers' union and the Democratic Party are against vouchers. Vouchers would allow parents the right to put their children in whatever school they want to put them in. And many parents are under the stupid impression that, that's not like a privilege. No, it isn't. We're paying for these kids to go to school. Our tax money supports the public schools. The public schools just doesn't get money out of thin air. Matter of fact, all of my children are grown, and I'm still paying tax money to support the public schools. So if we're paying tax money to support the public schools, we should be able to put our kids in whatever school we want to put them in that our tax money could be assigned to. But that's not the case. The teachers union, the Democratic Party, or whoever the powers may be, assign the schools, and many of these lousy schools are in minority areas. Now, these politicians, and I'm not saying these 200,000 people are politicians, these bureaucrats, many of these folks are making good money. And the reason why they're making the good money is because they're getting paid with our tax money. The very same people that are fighting to keep our kids out of the private schools, many, and I dare to say probably most of them, are putting their kids in private schools, in schools that they are getting an education, in schools that are preparing their kids to take over for them. While we got these lousy public schools like the 23 I mentioned in Baltimore that are nothing more than full-time day babysitters, because the kids aren't learning anything. And if the kids aren't learning anything, then all they're doing is sitting there wasting time, and they're going to get to the end of the road, their useless diploma, and they're going to be a blight on society because they're not prepared to fill the gap. They're not prepared for jobs. They're not prepared for anything. So what are they prepared for? Crime, illegitimacy, nothing if they're not getting educated. I like to use analogies that people can understand. If you work every day and you get ready to go buy food for your family, and there's a meat market down the street that sells lousy meat, but there's a meat market around the corner that sells very good meat, where are you going to spend your money? You're going to spend your money at the meat market around the corner. Now, you may have went to the one down the street before you realized that their meat was lousy. But once you found out that the meat market around the corner is the better deal for you and your family, that's the one you'd go to. And you'd put the one down the street out of business. Or the one down the street would have to retool, change themselves, and present a product that the public wants. Now, nobody's forcing you to go to the meat market down the street, but they're forcing many of us to put our kids in schools that are nothing less than a lousy meat market. Think about it. People should stop voting for folks that are not helping them. Folks that all they're doing is making sure that their children progress, or they're telling you they care about yours, and yours are just sitting around learning nothing. Think about it. I'm out.